to the completed conversion column.
Our goal was to remove 6 million square feet of office. It just so happened the housing shortage coincided.
Dozens more residents to call downtown Calgary home. A year since blanket rezoning was introduced.
All through the housing continuum, we have seen increase.
Some say it's working. Opponents want to see the bylaw become a top civic election issue.
Take a good, long, hard look at whether or not it is truly creating affordable housing.
It means everything. It's the reason why we do this.
And the moment a rehabilitated Swainson hawk is released back into the wild.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Camilla Di Giuseppe.
Good evening. The city's latest office to residential conversion is move-in ready on one of the busiest streets in downtown Calgary. This as the city faces a high office vacancy rate and a housing shortage. Officials believe the building is a way to confront two problems head-on. Tim Brooke reports.
We're in the heart of downtown, a great street and intersection with lots of activity going on, restaurants, bars, beautiful parks.
Once known as the KJM building, the loft on 4th Avenue has been rebranded and is ready for movers.
We're hoping for full occupancy by January 1, and it should home about 90 residents.
90 residents in 56 units across 11 floors. It's now the 4th completed Calgary office conversion, with 17 more approved and on the way. Good news as downtown vacancy rates hover around 30%.
Our goal was to remove 6 million square feet of office, and by doing so, we would increase the value of the remaining office space, which would restore the property value. It just so happened the housing shortage coincided.
The conversion projects alone won't solve the housing problem, but experts say they're a big part of a momentum-building year. Supply is up, which has introduced more competition into the rental market.
We've increased that supply, I believe, 800 times compared to the pathetic trickle-down kind of solutions that we were providing for decades.
So far, the city project has built more than 2,300 units across Calgary. At least 3 more conversions are expected to be complete and ready to welcome residents by the end of the year. Tim Brooke, CTV News, Calgary.
Now, at the loft, the city invested about $4 million to get things moving. Since launching in 2021, the program has generated $4 in private investment for every $1 of public funding. Well, it's been a year since blanket rezoning has been implemented in our city. In that time, it's faced pushback from residents and even legal action. But the city says Calgary now leads the country in building homes, and the policy is easing affordability concerns. Here's Stephanie Thomas.
Terms like R1 and R2 used to mean single detached dwellings or duplexes, but those designations vanished when blanket rezoning came in. That upzoning applies to all 4 quadrants of Calgary. It means that one property could be knocked down and replaced with 4 units plus 4 secondary suites, totaling 8 units.
All through the housing continuum, we have seen increase. And that's really the goal of our strategy, right? Blanket rezoning provides lower density forms, the missing middle as it's often called.
Since August 2024, 77% of building permits are for single detached or semi-detached homes. The remaining 23% are for townhouses and row homes. This applies to low density districts. With the land use process eliminated, city officials say communities are still providing comments and having input, while new homes are being built 4 to 6 months faster.
And that is real money that's being saved by the developers and the home builders that is then being saved by Calgarians in the purchase price.
Calgarians' needs have changed over time. And by providing varied choice, it allows us to live and stay in our neighborhoods.
But opponents of the blanket rezoning bylaw say it's not adding more affordable homes in the right areas.
Is putting pressure on infrastructure, water, garbage collection, eliminating tree canopy. More importantly, it's changing the nature of those communities from what they once were.
He's part of a large group that has taken the city to court, and it's now in the appeal process. He hopes that this becomes an election issue.
I would like to see whoever is elected as mayor and councillor take a good long, hard look at whether or not it is truly creating affordable housing and solving a housing crisis.
Stephanie Thomas, CTV News, Calgary.
Calgarians for Thoughtful Growth asked the mayoral candidates who would repeal blanket rezoning and who is in favor. Jeff Davison, Jeremy Farkas and Sonia Sharp said they would repeal the bylaw. Neither Mayor Jyoti Gondek nor Brian Thiessen responded to the survey. The mayor of Airdrie has decided he won't be running for re-election. Peter Brown posted on social media that he won't run again. Brown has been Airdrie's mayor since 2010. Since then, the city has doubled in size with a population now of more than 85,000 people. So far, at least 3 candidates for mayor have stepped forward to run in the October 20th election. A man has been charged following several break-and-enters in Crescent Heights. In the early morning hours of July 26, there were several break-ins along 2nd Street Northeast between 3rd and 4th Avenue. Houses, garages, and sheds were targeted. After getting a call from a resident, police say they found a man in possession of several stolen items. Those were returned to residents, but one victim is still missing sentimental items, including war medals, a Paralympic medal, and an Order of Canada. Anyone with information about these items is asked to contact police. 24-year-old Melfort Jaron Thiesens is facing a number of charges. Fire crews had to close some roads in the Northeast while they fought a fire in an auto parts yard this afternoon. The fire was contained to a Quonset hut on 37th Avenue. There were no nearby fire hydrants, so crews had to run hoses a fair distance to put out the flames. They blocked off traffic while they rolled out the lines. No one was hurt, and there's no word on how it started. An intense wildfire forced the closure of BC's Coquihalla Highway. Motorists drove through showers of embers before the highway was closed between Hope and Merritt. Trees on both sides of the highway went up in flames. Traffic is being rerouted to highways 1 and 3.
All right, well, we are looking at better air quality as we head through these next couple of days, so that's some good news for us. And temperatures, well, they'll climb at least a little bit. So today's high was just in the teens. Tomorrow we will get back into the 20s, just barely, as you can see here. Air quality health index will range between a 3 and a 4, which is low to moderate. And we are looking at a good amount of sunshine, and we should be able to see that sun a little better with less smoke out there for tomorrow. Your longer range forecast is just ahead.
Thank you, Danielle. Thousands of public sector workers who were on the brink of striking are instead getting a raise. After more than a year of bargaining with the government, the AUPE members voted to approve a new collective agreement. Jeremy Thompson has more on the deal and what it could mean for teachers who are also looking to finalize a new agreement.
An air of relief at AUPE HQ. After a year and a half of bargaining, the union has reached a deal with the provincial government, narrowly avoiding a strike.
Before 4:30 yesterday, we didn't know whether that would be the case. This could be a very different press conference.
The agreement includes a 12% raise over 4 years for the 24,000 members who work in government services, administrators, social workers, sheriffs, prison guards, court clerks, firefighters, and more. Finance Minister Nate Horner says the agreement balances competitive compensation with long-term stability for both employees and the public service.
We do believe that they make the province run every single day and make sure people are healthy and safe in whatever role they play.
While the flat raise applies to everyone, President Guy Smith says about 70% of workers will get an extra pay bump, recognizing accomplishments like years of service or dangerous jobs like fighting wildfires.
A good size of our membership, are making over 20% over 4 years, some even higher than that.
One labor relations professor says it's good news for Alberta teachers currently at their own bargaining impasse.
But it does mean there is more money on the table and that the government is prepared to spend it, just not on core wage increases.
An ATA spokesperson tells CTV the latest proposal from the province offered raises teachers have already turned down, and no further meetings are on the schedule. While AUPE leadership is glad to reach a settlement, they say it's likely not enough to fully address the rising cost of living.
$500 to $700 rent increases, their insurance has gone up, their utilities have gone up, and they're using the food bank.
The new agreement lasts until spring 2028. The team is already preparing for the next round of bargaining. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Meantime, a labor disruption looms over the town of Coaldale. AUPE says the town has served notice to lock out staff at 4 p.m. Saturday. The notice comes just hours after 83% of members voted to strike. A more efficient way to test oil and gas wells has been endorsed by the Alberta Energy Regulator, and it was developed at the University of Calgary. The well testing method has been in trials and development for 6 years, and samples are being analyzed at a lab at the university. It's a quicker alternative to conventional diagnostic fracture injection tests. Information from the tests help better understand reservoirs for extraction of oil and gas. Old testing methods can take weeks or months to get results, while the Calgary developed test gets results in just days.
It's less disruptive to the operator in terms of their on-site operations, so they can only have to sit on a well for a few hours as opposed to days. And if they have to sit on a well for days, that strands their ability or compromises their ability to produce.
Several companies in Canada are using the new testing method. The team is also now looking at how the test could be used in clean energy applications. It's an incurable genetic disease impacting tens of thousands of Canadians. Today is Polycystic Kidney Disease Awareness Day. Next, we meet a woman living with what she calls an unpredictable illness.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
Today marks Polycystic Kidney Disease Awareness Day. It's an incurable genetic condition that impacts approximately 12 million people globally, but it's not often talked about. Jacqueline Wilson has more.
It's definitely like an unpredictable disease.
Erica Sadeko is one of 66,000 Canadians living with polycystic kidney disease.
I was diagnosed with polycystic kidney disease when I was a teenager, and for the most part back then there wasn't a lot of knowledge about the disease, and so it was just kind of brushed under the table. I was told like it's basically like having freckles on your kidneys.
PKD is characterized by the growth of fluid-filled cysts in the kidneys, which can lead to a decline in function and eventually failure, requiring dialysis or transplant. A kidney is normally the size of a fist, but with the disease, it can grow to the size of a football.
I just want people to know that they're not alone. I felt alone for a long time.
Sadeko reached out to the PKD Foundation and has since found a community of support.
It's not necessarily a rare disease. It's rarely talked about. About 10 years ago, the first treatment option became available to eligible PKD patients. And the treatment does help to slow down the progression of the disease. But right now, the focus is on supporting families, bringing attention to this disease so that we can fund more research, we can add to our body of knowledge, and hopefully one day actually have a cure.
Kenny encourages people to sign up for organ donation. As for Sadeko, she's living every day to its fullest.
I don't let it define me, and I don't know, if anything, I think it's like caused me to be more resilient.
Jacqueline Wilson, CTV News, Calgary.
The 2025 Walk to End PKD will be on September 14th at 11 a.m. in Bowness Park. The goal is to raise $5,000 to support patient programs and medical research. The Alberta government is hosting telephone town halls to talk about changes for funding for persons with disabilities. Starting next summer, people who are receiving support through Assured Income for the Severely Handicapped, or AISH, will move to a new program. The transition will be to the Alberta Disability Assistance Program, or ADAP. For people who are able to work, disability advocates warn the new program will leave many in deeper poverty, as monthly ADAP support is $200 less than AISH. Inclusion Alberta calls the new program a devastating blow that won't address deeper issues for people who need help.
People are scared. They are already really struggling to get by on, on AISH, and they know how hard it is to actually get work. It's not just simply a matter of having the skills or a resume.
The province says the change empowers those with disabilities and allows them to pursue work. Telephone town halls will take place this evening, or they have already, and tomorrow at noon. A Swainson's hawk injured in a car strike is back in the sky. Calgary wildfire crews released it at Rolfe Klein Park this afternoon. Kevin Green was there as the bird took flight.
Inside this covered-up cage is a Swainson's hawk about to be released after nearly a month in rehab, including time in a flight pen to build up its strength.
This guy's a young bird that came to us like 23 days ago, and he was clipped by a car. So luckily in the area there were people around that were able to respond to him, and so they contacted us to tell us they had the injured bird.
Releasing the hawk close to where it was found gives it the best chance to reconnect with its home range and rejoin its parents as they begin their migration south. They winter as far away as Argentina. Hesitation at first, daunted seeing the outdoors for the first time in a month, but after about a minute, with a strong flap of the wings, he's once again soaring over the prairie.
It means everything. It's the reason why we do this. So when we have these opportunities to get them back out in the wild and continue to, fulfill their niche in ecology and breed, this is why we do it.
But rehabilitation can be challenging and costly.
We would prefer that people give us a call. Again, it's safety for yourself, it's safety for the animal. Again, these animals are often sick and we don't know what they have, and there's a lot of disease in wildlife that can be transferred to humans.
Thanks to someone who did call, this Swainson's hawk now has a second chance at life in the wild and a long journey south ahead of it. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
And for more information about how you can help injured birds, just visit our website. Well, Danielle's up next with her Skywatch forecast, and she mentioned that we're going to just hit the 20-degree mark as we head into Friday. A look ahead to the weekend as well next. Well, it was another smoky day and certainly a chilly day. It felt like fall out there. Only a high of 18 in the city today. So certainly cool. And to the east of us, even cooler. 16 was the high in Regina and just 9 in Winnipeg. We had that cold air out of the north that not only dropped the temperatures, but also brought in some more smoke for us for today. 31 kilometers per hour is the maximum wind gust today in the city. And you can see it was a little gustier further off to the east of us. Now, you can see that flow on the radar and satellite as well out of the north, but we're going to get a switch in wind directions starting tonight, and that's going to change our air quality and make it quite a lot better. So it's going to work in our favor, at least for the next couple of days anyway. All right, so we still have some smoke pooling along the mountains. This is going to make its way out as the wind shifts for tonight. Now, we do have some fires burning in BC, and when the wind shifts out of the west as we get into late Saturday and through Sunday, that may bring some smoky air back in again, so it may pop us up higher on that air quality health index, which you can see the legend up at the top here. I'm going to advance this for tomorrow. We should be on the low to moderate part, and same thing really goes for Saturday. But as you can see, Saturday night, it starts to creep back in again. And this may bump us up to that higher level on Sunday. We could get up to a 7 is what it's looking like at this point. All right, so longer range forecast looks like this. 20 degrees for tomorrow, so a little warmer. We should get a little more peek at the sun because we should have less smoke tomorrow. Air quality health index ranging from a 3 to a 4, so 3 is low, 4 is moderate. Similar air quality expected for Saturday and a little bit warmer at 23 degrees. By Sunday, again, we may get some smoke in from the west, so we are looking at a daytime high of 25, but air quality health index not quite as great. So a 5, which is moderate, and we may get up to a 7, which is at that higher risk level. On Monday and Tuesday, we have temperatures in those lower 20s as well, but we have a chance of showers late Monday and in through Tuesday as well. Looking at that longer range forecast, it's showing you that we will be, except for next Thursday, we will be in those lower 20s for the next 10 days. All right, Danielle, thanks. He's been chasing Canada's strongest man title for years, but would 2025 finally be his year? Next, we meet the Edmonton police officer and his latest effort to be crowned a national champ. Hundreds of people gathered in Northeast Calgary to celebrate diversity. Hosted by the Immigration Education Society, the festival included ethnic performances, food, talent and fashion shows, an art exhibition, and an entrepreneurs market. Organizers say the 14th annual event is an opportunity for community connection.
With familiarity with each other's culture, I think we begin to understand each other better, and that way I think we'll minimize a lot of prejudices, stereotypes, because sometimes if you do not know, you just assume, right? But after knowing each other and learn about each other's culture, I think it will be very beneficial for us to be united in our differences.
Organizers hope events like this will help minimize what many feel is a growing anti-immigrant sentiment. A man in Edmonton recently earned the title of strongest man in Canada. When he's not training or competing, he's protecting the community. CTV's Amanda Anderson explains.
From an early age, Tristan Hoth was inspired by some of the strongman competitors he saw on TV.
It was always something that, myself and my dad and my brother would always try and watch together.
After years of hard work, Hoth is not only one of them, he now has the title of Canada's strongest man in 2025.
The amount of work I've put in it's been 8 years of competing, and to hold this title for 2025, I was like, I'm the first Western athlete in the strongman circuit history in Canada to ever win.
The title and trophy were earned through 6 events at the national show in late August.
So I scored 74.5 out of a total possible 78 points.
You gotta turn it on now. This, the toughest event, one Hoth says no one finished. They had to pull a 35,000-pound dump truck loaded with concrete blocks to the finish line.
And then I pulled, I think it was a 60-foot course, and I pulled 56 feet. So shy by about 4 feet.
He was 12 points ahead going into the last challenge. He crushed it, becoming only the 5th or 6th person to finish in the event's history.
Being one of those top guys ever to finish the stone run, cement myself in history, I had so many emotions going through my body and myself at that point. It was unbelievably, I was just so happy for it.
When Hoth isn't in the gym, he's out protecting people in Southeast Edmonton as a police officer.
Training's helped because I'm a large individual now, and I command presence when I come into a room, and it's very obvious at a lot of places that, as soon as I walk in, people pay attention. Yeah, there's been quite a few requests for me to be on different squads. And
Hoth not only hopes to stand on the podium at an elite world competition in the future, but hopes to keep his national title as long as possible.
I'm excited to defend it next year.
Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Awesome. All right, that's it for us here at CTV News at 11:30. Thank you for watching. Have a good night, and we'll see you soon.